efforts. When you're talking about homicides, talking about close to 70, not just a statistic. People who lost their lives in some instances because of a dereliction of duty on the part of the authorities. And why I'm saying that, when you decided to literally close down or abandon the island's K9 unit for about 2 years, when a number of other jurisdictions were beefing up their own units, clearly that is providing the criminal elements with a gateway to bring in illegal guns and also ammunition. See what is happening now at the ports. And every other day, SLASPA is in the news. Not good news. Because what? Because we have a functioning, finally, because we have a functioning K9 unit along with the other officers of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. I don't know if we have that clip, but we have situations where it has been exhibited, where leaders in other Caribbean territories have demonstrated that they care about the victims of crime. Let's find out if we have. Do we have the clip, Mr. Producer? No, we don't. We don't have it. Okay, but we'll find out later in the broadcast. In just a bit, we'll be taking your calls at 452-2979. Once again, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. But those of you who have been constantly and consistently listening to and also watching this broadcast, you would know I'm making reference there to the Jamaican Prime Minister, Dr. Andrew Holness, and momentarily we should be hearing from him, among other people. All right, what we'll do right now is to open the lines to take your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. Let's see what you are saying there via WhatsApp. And somebody says there via WhatsApp, Tim, where is our Prime Minister from? The first people who deal with crime are the victims. When did the Prime Minister express his sympathy and sadness at what these victims, dead or alive, have gone through? And don't forget the multiplier effect that crime has on a society. I'm not saying the first responders do not need to be saluted by the Prime Minister, but how can he forget that the victims are the reasons that the police and medical staff respond? Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message to go through. And somebody says there, Tim, you need to be, and I'm being kind, Tim, you need to be patient when somebody is speaking. And let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, I have health insurance. Unfortunately, many St. Lucians do not. I had surgery last year, and having health insurance greatly assisted in covering the cost. Health insurance for everyone is a positive and not a negative. I think we have a call via WhatsApp. Hello, good afternoon, NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Good afternoon, Timothy.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
And your co-host. Timothy, I saw something yesterday, and immediately I said I have to call you and talk a little bit about it. Do you know how much the station they're building in Crozily costing?
From the top of my head, I'm not too sure, caller, but I could always find out.
Okay.
Yes.
What I'm saying, Timothy, that station will cost in the millions, no doubt about it. I was surprised when I asked somebody what is going on there. The person told me it's the station they're building there. I'm saying, Timothy, as a small nation, 85,000 people, we don't need that station, that building they build there. We don't need that.
Okay, so the figure is $35.9 million, caller.
Okay.
But let me stop you there, caller. You're criticizing the government on the what? On the size?
No.
On the size? Hold on. On the size of the police station? The size?
Timothy, let me continue.
No, I'm just asking you, sir, because you have 5 minutes. Is it on the size of the police station, the size of the building?
Yes,
Okay,
part
continue.
of it. So what I'm saying, a country of 85,000 people, 185,000 people, if government can invest half of the money they're going to spend in building that police station, we don't need a big police station like that. Invest some of that money in the youth so they don't have no reason to sit on the block and see men going on the block, do things they're not supposed to do so to get arrested, and then carry them there to put them on remand at the police station. That is my point. Why spending so much money in a police station? Why not invest in some of the monies to the young people that is sitting on the block? Put things in place for them. So therefore, they will not be skylarking all about and do things they're not supposed to do to be arrested. 185,000 people in a country, and the government is building such a huge police station. I believe half of this money is supposed to be invested in the young people in this country, so they have no reason to sit on the block, smoke their weed, drink them rum, do all kind of nonsense to get arrested and house them there for a while. That is the point I want to make. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much for your contribution. But let me tell you, Cole, I think you are short-sighted. Because very often the crime problem in most countries would normally increase as opposed to decline. And you have to certainly prepare for what in some instances is the inevitable. With development, you have an increase in criminal activity, you have greater challenges, you might need more police officers, and therefore you might need a bigger structure from which to operate, to have more officers and things of that nature. So you're being short-sighted. And let me add to that. When the government of St. Lucia constructed Bordile Correctional Facility, the same thing was being said. The structure was humongous, it is too huge, etc. It was basically a hotel, in effect, enticing people to go out there and commit crime so that they could go to that so-called hotel. Now it is bursting at its seams. And we are being told, because of the number of people we have on remand, the number of men, women who are being imprisoned, that it is too small. So you have to be, you have to not be myopic, avoid being short-sighted, caller, and always look to the future. Let's continue with your calls and your WhatsApp messages. I think that clip that we are searching for in terms of a prime minister who focuses on the victims of crime. That prime minister is Jamaica's leader, Dr. Andrew Holness.
I'm here to personally express to the family members my own personal and sincere and deep condolences on this very tragic incident which has taken the lives of 4 innocent Jamaicans and has threatened the lives of members of the community. And I'm hoping for the speedy recovery of those who were injured in this gruesome, unwarranted attack. I'm also here to assure the families and loved ones of the victims that the Jamaican state and government will support them through this very difficult time, whether it is with support in counseling or in supporting any other needs that may arise. As I have met with some of the family members, I am seeing where there are needs, and some have even expressed particular support that they would require. So the entire government will be mobilized to give support to the victims and the loved ones of the victims. The conversation in the public domain as well about our crime fighting strategy sometimes forgets the victims. And so my presence here as well is to highlight that we must also focus on the victims. The 3 children who are left behind in the murder of an innocent mother. The father who was just crying a while ago, his son didn't get to give him a grandson. The grandmother who was crying in her room, who was saying her grandson was the one who took care of her. The society must place great importance on the victims of crime, in as much as sometimes we pay to the perpetrators of crime. The victims of crime deserve justice for Jamaicans too. And the society, in how we speak, the narratives that we create around our situation, I think it is only fair that in the balance, the favor is towards the victims. So my presence here today is to also highlight the victims. I use this tragic incident to appeal to the hearts of all Jamaica. Let us work for peace. And to those criminals who are not hearing my voice or have chosen to ignore what I have said, we will get you.
The Prime Minister of Jamaica, Dr. Andrew Holness, focusing on the victims of crime. When was the last time, if ever, our Prime Minister has done that at length? And he was given the opportunity to do so earlier on today, and that opportunity, unfortunately, was frittered away. Instead, he focused on the police, first responders, the nurses, the doctors, the trauma that they experience, and the government appreciates their efforts. 4522979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Apologies to you because we went offline for a while on Facebook as well as YouTube. So I think we are back. WhatsApp message, what are you saying there via your contribution? Somebody says, Grosville is the fastest growing constituency on the island, so that guy is definitely short-sighted. And let's see if we have some more of your messages. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, there must be a better way. As I went through immigration at the Uranora International Airport this week, I saw young customs officers searching vehemently through the suitcases of returning residents. They were thoroughly checking every piece of clothing, every envelope, every pocket, and removing all items from the suitcases. I noticed one elderly mother/grandmother and her granddaughter, standing there and waiting impatiently and visibly embarrassed by what was happening to them. They both wore a photo badge of a loved one which showed they had just lost someone. The elderly woman pleaded with the customs officer not to embarrass her any further and to let them go, but that did not move the officer. Then I saw tears fill her eyes. She was broken as she watched all the contents of her bag exposed out in the open for everyone to see. She eventually left, and the customs officer did not find anything worth holding or pressing her for. It is 2025. Why are we still treating our own people like this? There must be a better way. Other countries invest in modern scanning technology, machines that inspect bags quickly, privately, and efficiently without degrading the dignity of travelers. Why can't we? These are our citizens, our visitors, our elders, our grieving families. They deserve respect, they deserve compassion, they deserve systems that value them, not humiliate them. In addition to scanning equipment, they can do like other countries to randomly select travelers and take them to a private room for further examination. We need to elevate the standard. We need to protect people's dignity. We need to do better. That is a WhatsApp message. And let's see if we have any of your messages at this time. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, our leaders should adopt a similar approach to gang crime here. We need to see the effects of crime and its cascading effects on victims. And let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Okay, we have a call. Hello, good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Yes, Tim, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to you, Mr. Leonard Spider-Motut.
Yes, Tim, I can't help but highlight another example of the St. Lucia Labour Party's desperation, and the tendency to rely heavily on bluffing their way through and deceiving St. Lucians. Here we are. There's a police headquarters being built in Grosville that you spoke of. The building is obviously not completed. It will not be in a hurry. It will not be ready for police officers to move out of the Grosley Human Resource Development Center and to move into the building. Yet still, they're rushing ahead with a big ceremony to dazzle people and hopefully to fool people into to getting votes for the upcoming general election. And what is worse among it, they're going to use state institutions and resources to stage that fast that they're going to perform there, that they call a ceremony, to gain votes. And that's the thing about the St. Lucia Labour Party we have to bear in mind and take cognizance of. They have no sense of propriety. They have no sense of ethics. And, they would do things that, and I've always said, they have blurred the line between state and party, and it is everything in the interest of party for the purpose of winning election. And they don't really care about how it looks, what they do, and how they squander public funds in the process to pursue their narrow goal of winning elections. It is not correct, it is not right for state resources to be used time and time again, over and over, as a campaigning device, as it's part of their electioneering. And St. Lucians must take note of this, because that is the tendency of a party and a set of politicians who, given a chance, will want to have one party state and will want to annihilate all others and utilize state resources to ensure that they suppress democracy in the country. And we saw it where they have bastardized the SSDF into becoming an arm of the SLP. They use the cabinet press briefing to promote partisan issues, like when they had Lisa, for example, to come on to talk about her launching and all of that. That has nothing to do with government. That is party business. And when they put on ceremonies like the fake ceremony in Viewfort, the facade of the handing over of St. Jude's, and things like that, where they are going to make employees permanent, so they're going to spend government money and come there for all their St. Lucia Labour Party regalia and all in red and all of that kind of thing, and spewing party platform rhetoric and all of that. That cannot be right, and that is an additional reason why St. Lucians should ensure that they go to the polls and vote the St. Lucia Labour Party out of office, because they are abusive in every respect, in every form. After failing St. Lucians so terribly, so miserably, all they are engaging in, all they are interested in is politics, is partisan politics to advance and to uphold their personal political interests. And so, I just wanted to call to highlight what they're doing and to show it for what it is. So that ceremony is another facade, once again, a scam, another stunt by the St. Lucia Labour Party to try to get votes. Thank you, Tim.
All right, thank you so much. Just so there from the PRO of the opposition, UWP, Mr. Leonard Spider Montoute. And let's see if we have some more of your WhatsApp messages. Let's take a WhatsApp call. Hello, good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon, sir.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
Yes, Mr. Kim.
Yes, good afternoon. You're on the air.
This is the guy that called last week that was at the hospital.
Yes, sir. How are you doing?
Yeah. I'm okay. I'm getting there. Let me tell you. Brother Tim, I had to have an operation.
Are you still at the hospital at OKU?
I was discharged on Wednesday.
Okay,
so
all right.
Presently I'm at my home.
Okay, go ahead.
I had to have the operation in Trinidad. You will not believe that this operation has cost $60,000 US for me to do that operation. $60,000 US. Now, what I'm saying, how many of us in St. Lucia that have $162,000 on our accounts? I'm just drawing a reference. When we talk about that health insurance that Mr. Shasney is putting forward, I want St. Lucians to understand that $60,000 they charge me for the operation. Now I personally don't have $60,000 to do the operation. So I'm looking at other alternatives. I'm looking at Martinique and I'm looking at Barbados. I am urging St. Lucians again, vote for your health care. Do what is right. Do what is right in this coming election. I was at the hospital. An 89-year-old mister had to buy his own medication. An 89-year-old mister, bedridden. The doctor had to give him a prescription. There was another gentleman that is 76 years old. He told me he spent over $4,000 already buying his own medication at the hospital. I can tell you, Brother Tim, the doctors and the nurses are working tirelessly all night. The nurses are up. I can tell you that. I can attest to that because I was at the hospital. And I'm telling you, the doctors and the nurses, they're working hard. They're taking it hard. I can tell you that. But they don't have the medication to give the patients. They don't have the medication to give the patients. So it is not their fault when they give the families, a prescription to go and buy medication because the patients need it. I myself, I spent $1,400. You understand? I was there and I spent $1,400. I am urging St. Lucians again. When you are sick, you alone that going through the trauma and the hardship. You understand? When the politicians are ill, they can take.
Are you there, caller?
Yes, I am there.
Yeah, continue.
Yes, I am there, Brother Tim.
Yes, go ahead.
You hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Brother Tim?
You're saying that when the politicians are sick.
Yeah. When the politicians are sick, they can take a flight to the best hospitals in the world. Mr. Shafner put something on the table there that has never been done in the history of healthcare in St. Lucia. You all have an opportunity to make a difference in your lives, in your parents' lives, in your children's lives. Health is wealth, and health is critical. We need to take that approach. We need to take that approach. I can tell you what I went through. It wasn't easy. I had to buy my own medication. That was money to pay my bills, to clear my loan and to pay costs. I had to take it because I'm at the hospital. I am urging y'all, check how much money I have to pay to just have an operation, to just have an operation in my head, to get my head back together. I have to pay $60,000. How many of us that have that on our accounts? Take that into consideration, St. Lucian. It's not lie, I'm lying. I'm speaking the truth. And I want to thank all those that helped me. Brother Tim, just give me one opportunity. Let me thank some people that helped me when I had my
your barbecue
fundraising. Fundraising at my place. I'm thanking the people that had that assist me in the fundraising. I want to thank even Lisa Joyer made a contribution. I want to thank Mr. Guy Joseph. I want to thank the former Prime Minister. I want to thank his wife. I want to thank all those that play the music. I want to thank all those that assisted my sisters, my brothers, my cousins in Cicero that assisted me. And right now I'm having a GoFundMe. There is a GoFundMe to assist me in making these monies for my operation. So whoever can help in that regard, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much, Brother Tim.
Okay, sir.
And all the best.
Thank you so much, and all the best and speedy recovery to you as you undergo that major operation. Good afternoon to you, Amanda. Let's find out what is happening in the chat room.
Good afternoon, Tim. Good afternoon, News Spinners. Tim, a few comments via the Facebook chat room. Someone says, the countdown, sorry, is on and serious, my people. Take all your time to think before you do anything stupid. Another comment here reads, I will not vote a party that won an election and they campaigned for 4.5 years and now they're like lost chickens. Everywhere you pass, dishing out money like crazy. And NewsSpin says, there a level of homicide? Commentary says, my PJP, why only now you are being docile and not laugh? Because every question cast at you is like a joke. Someone says, you used crime when you were in opposition. And NewsSpinner says, only today, a few days before the general elections, you find your voice to speak on crime. I hope you enjoyed your tenure as Prime Minister because the only place you will ever see yourself as Prime Minister again is on the year in review on news. A commentary says, we the people demand the true accountability and transparency from all who hold public office. The era of unchecked authority is over. Those entrusted with power must answer to the citizens, stand by their actions, and uphold the principles of good governance without exception. Pierre, you must answer to the people. A commentary says, only now you want to thank and address the police, nurses, and doctors. Only now you want to come together. PJP, your hours are numbered. We will not be moved. You made many promises, but instead campaigned for 4.5 years. And NewsSpinner says via Facebook, you're supporting his point. Neither government enacted programs to deter people from crime as much as possible. Another commentary says, he in particular told us his father was a police officer, not him, despite being the Prime Minister and Minister of National Security. A commentary says, situations like this shows how urgently we need professionalism, respect and accountability from those entrusted with public authority. No customs officer should be allowed to mistreat the very people they serve. Shasney is coming, my people, hold on. Someone says via Facebook, SLP definitely does not know party versus government boundaries because they cannot govern and deserve to go back to opposition. A few comments here via the YouTube chat room. Somebody says here, PJP, where's the CIB money? Commentary says, seeing how gullible those young people are, it's going to be a tough elections. Every rally is a fete and party. That's all the young people of St. Lucia want to do. Commentary says, Tim, that also says a lot about our justice system and how slow the process is, and that needs to be improved. And NewsSpinner says via YouTube, and Tim, I saw the police station floor plan being displayed on a news network with the top level police being present. Are we serious about crime? Someone says, number one, sorry to see how in real time St. Lucia is losing its culture because of politics. St. Lucians act so much like Jamaicans that they forget how to be St. Lucians. Number two, be kind and respectful to each other. Someone says, I do not think the caller is short-sighted. He is right. A police station will not reduce crime. You need to understand the root cause of the crime and tackle it. A NewsSpinner says, but on a serious note, we need to get with the program and upgrade our airports. And someone says here, why are they doing that when they still had 8 months left to go? Did PJP just want to follow the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and call elections? That shows that he is a follower and not a leader. Back to you, Tim.
Thanks so much, Amanda. Talking about Comrade Dr. Ralph Gonzalez prompted me to present the question of the day in that manner. Why are politicians so humble around election time? Why are politicians so humble around election time? Let us listen to Comrade Dr. Ralph Gonzalez. By the way, the Vincentians are casting their ballots today in the general election between the NDP and the governing ULP.
Young people, women, elderly, men, everybody, come back home to Labour if you're straight. Please, please, help us to help you. Lift us up. Lift me up, please, I beg you. Young people, women, elderly, men, everybody, come back home to Labour if you're straight. Please, please, help us to help you. Lift us up. Lift me up, please. I beg you.
Gonzalez not coming across as being confident, literally begging, please, please. By the way, again, today is election day over in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and no doubt the results should be known by later this evening. Let's continue with your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. And Amanda is here going through your comments in the chat room, and momentarily she'll have another report for us. And as I said before, later in the broadcast, you'll be hearing from Mr. Richard Frederick and among others. 452-2979, your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. Let me see if I have any of your WhatsApp messages to go through right now. Let's see there if we have any of your messages. And somebody says there via WhatsApp, Tim, seems like the wall has collapsed around Dr. Ralph Gonzalez. And let's see if we have let's take a call on the landline. Good afternoon, NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Yeah, good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
It's a while I have not heard from. That's your brother calling, Tim.
Yes, sir.
Tim, I'm so disappointed in the Prime Minister. And
Can you speak up?
I'm very disappointed in the Prime Minister.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you why. The reason why I'm so disappointed, why would the Prime Minister choose to call the election now? And then he wants to reopen all the for example, the police station, I heard they be doing a ceremony, but it happens. Why are they doing that, Tim? Why are the Prime Minister doing that? I mean, you have up to next year's November to call the election, and then you're all doing all that now. I'm very, very disappointed in the Prime Minister, Tim. I don't know why the Prime Minister should. The Prime Minister should have stayed and for next year and to call the election. I don't know why the Prime Minister rushing. Because the Prime Minister has no confidence in himself. Because if he had confidence in himself, he wouldn't have called the election. Just for them to say, in the event they lose the election, for them to say they did that. But that's not how a country should run. I mean, you wait for the completion of the building and then you open it. We have to do something about that, Tim. I mean, something has to be done. But anyway, Tim, we'll meet and we'll talk.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for calling. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message to go through. And somebody says there via WhatsApp, hi, Tim. The Labour Party right now has two offices in Astoria because they have division between them, always ready to fight with each other. We need to vote them out. And the SLP is paying the young ones in Astoria $1,500 to vote for them. Let's see if we have some other of your WhatsApp messages. Let's take a WhatsApp call. Good afternoon, NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Yes. I just want to report that last night we had a whistle stop. That's Team Tommy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when we reach in Goodland, someone stay on the hill and threw a stone and broke one of the vehicle's windscreen. Now, that could have escalated to a serious thing there. But all we had to do is to calm the young guys, not to get involved in any violent activity. But, that's not good enough. You know, the Labour Party supporters need to stop that violent thing they're trying to push. Because everybody can push violence when they choose to, you know. We've got one set of people that can do that. So I'm urging them to stop it. All right? Because it might not go well the next time they try that. Thank you.
Okay, caller. Thank you so much. Clearly, we have a code of conduct in effect. I don't know how effective that will be because it came into effect just a couple of days before the scheduled general election in St. Lucia. But there is need for the various political parties and the candidates and their supporters and operatives to understand that they need to police themselves. There's a word called decorum and you have to ensure that you behave, you conduct yourself in an acceptable manner. Somebody also sent me a clip that I'll be playing in just a moment where the flag of a particular candidate is being pulled down. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Good afternoon, Tim. How are you?
I'm okay, Mr. Alan Shasti. Good afternoon, sir.
Good, sir. I'm not sure that your viewers would have heard our press conference this morning. I'm just checking.
No, I'm not privy to it. I did not get to watch.
Okay. So this morning we made a pretty monumental announcement this morning with regards to tourism. So the two things that we announced, one is that we're going to create a support program for the month of September. Because as you know, in the month of September, Tim, some hotels have actually closed down during the month of September. Business is very, very soft. And so we've taken what we learned from COVID and to create an income support program for both the tourism workers as well as the persons in the industry, the vendors, the taxi drivers, some of the attractions, etc., where we can do some income support for them during the month of September. So that was one big announcement. The second announcement is that when you look at tourism, that 20 cents on every dollar that's spent in tourism remains in St. Lucia. We had to look for ways to keep more of that money in St. Lucia. And we think that the greatest contributor to the industry that is indigenous to St. Lucia are the people. And when you look at the wages in the industry compared to the wages around the world in the industry, even if you look at Barbados and you look at Cayman Islands and you look at Bahamas, etc., our wage rate is much lower. Now, when you compare it to the Dominican Republic and Jamaica, we're more, but we need to strive to be a premium destination. And what we want to do is to raise the minimum wage for the hotel workers to $2,500 a month. We had been in consultation with some of the hoteliers. It's something that we've wanted to do for a very long time. Even when my party was looking at the minimum wage in general, we agreed that there has to be a sectorial minimum wage because not every sector can afford to pay the same minimum wage. So the government has put in a minimum wage of $1,000. You know, $2,500 is substantially higher than that amount. $2,500 would be what they get as their basic salary. And then on top of that, people would be getting their gratuity, which is divided up on a monthly basis. But we think that this is a significant move in helping keep more of the tourism dollars in St. Lucia. And our government has pledged, my party has pledged, to continue to work on strengthening the linkages in agriculture, to strengthen the linkages in manufacturing, strengthen the linkages in terms of services that are provided to the tourism industry. And very, very importantly, Tim, very, very importantly, is to create more opportunities for St. Lucians to own a piece of the pie, meaning own their own attraction company, own their own restaurants, own their own manufacturing companies that are providing products to the industry, and to own Airbnbs and to be in the position to have small hotels. And that's why the T-Village concept that we've started, we want to roll out throughout the length and breadth of this country. Electricity, water, proper washroom facilities, parking lots, and persons can get a lot there to be able to put up their small business. What we were going to do and begin in View Fort, where we were taking 80 acres of land, subdividing it, roads, water, electricity, put in the proper ordinances, and allow St. Lucians to be able to build their own small properties and create a special development area so they get very aggressive tax incentives to be able to encourage them, because we have to retain more of the money in St. Lucia. And we all know agriculture is big, manufacturing is big, but I think the one segment that we've always overlooked is the workers. They're the ones that are the biggest players in the industry. They're the ones who have the greatest potential for drawing money in. So there's two things. One, continue to expand the sector, because we really are not even close to reaching our potential. Aruba, which is 1/3 the size of St. Lucia, has 15,000 hotel rooms. St. Lucia only has 5. So by continuing to expand this sector will generate more workers. And by now working on increasing the minimum wages and the support programs that we put in, Dominic Fady spoke specifically about the persons who are working because it's a 24/7 business. We need to make sure that the school systems, the daycare centers, all are there to facilitate the workers of the industry. And the big one is the public transportation system. Because of the shift system that we have to improve that quite substantially. But I think it was really a milestone today to make the announcement that we're going to be increasing the minimum wage to $2,500 a month for the workers. And I think that that's going to start beginning to allow people to develop careers off of that.
How are you going to finance this, sir?
Hello?
How will you finance this?
Hello?
Yeah. Mr. Chastain, are you there? You listening?
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I could hear you. Are you there?
Yes. Did you hear everything I said, or do I need to repeat it?
You don't have to repeat. I'm just asking you, how are you going to finance this initiative? Giving the hotel workers a minimum wage of $2,500. How will this be financed?
So basically, there's a lot of inefficiencies in the system. The cost of electricity is way too high, Tim, 40 cents a kilowatt hour. We're committed to being able to bring that down substantially. Right now, to clear containers off the ports is a nightmare. And when you look at the tax regime towards the industry, where we're charging very high duties on liquor and other things. So we intend to review all of those things to reduce the cost for the hotel sector, but now making sure that all the efforts that government is doing to reduce those costs, that money now is being transferred to the workers of the country. I can tell you I've had several discussions. The plan is a very solid plan, one in which people embrace, because the owners of the hotels want to be able to pay their staff more money. But the problem is when you look at the cost of operations in St. Lucia, Tim, it's extraordinary what they have to go through. We clearly have done the study when we were in the government before. We know how to make this industry substantially more efficient, and for those gains now that we're going to get, which will be through policy and through taxes, that the money that the hotels are going to be saving, for it to be transferred to the workers. And one way of guaranteeing that the money is transferred to the workers is by putting in a minimum wage for the workers.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for speaking with us on this afternoon's NewsSpin program.
Thank you very much, Tim.
You just heard there from the political leader of the opposition United Workers' Party, Mr. Alan Chastain. Let me turn my attention to you, Amanda. Let's find out what's happening in the chat room.
Somebody told me I should smile more when on camera, so I'm trying that out. So I'm trying not to be weird with the smile.
Are you going to do everything that people tell you to do, Amanda?
When you get criticism, if it's constructive and
Okay, you think it's constructive?
It is.
Okay, well, while you're reading, smile as well. Continue.
A few comments here via Facebook. Someone says St. Lucians, wake up and smell the coffee. The government can't go overseas without making a fundraising or barbecue. Commentary reads, accountability will always catch up with those who try to outrun it. When leaders act in the public space, they must be ready to answer for every decision, every claim, and every display of power. No amount of noise can drown out the people's demand for integrity. A NewsSpinner says, St. Lucians, this is heartbreaking to hear. St. Lucians, come out on Monday and vote for the health care, or you are going to miss out. A commentary says they are opening a number of incomplete buildings in some constituencies and putting up nice renderings of call centers, hospitals, community centers all over the country. Many people are angry with PJP for opening an incomplete St. Jude building. He is not learning. He is still opening incomplete projects. Fire station in Canaries, police station in Groseilliers. Someone says, Richard, when the people speak, no endorsement and no performance can silence their judgment. Public trust is something that must be earned, not demanded. Those who dismiss the people's concerns eventually face the truth that real power rests with the citizens. And NewsSpinner says via Facebook, so what kind of nonsense is that? People have to go and buy medicine from outside pharmacies when there is a hospital. St. Lucians, please listen to what the man is saying. It is not easy when you are sick and do not have the money to pay for your medication. Think about it, my people, and use your heads. Another commentary says, St. Lucians, wake the hell up. My mom was in St. Lucia. I had to bring her back to the US to undergo a 6-hour abdominal surgery that could not be done in St. Lucia. Surgery was successful and thank God for her medical insurance. It cost me $0 to get her the care that she desperately needed. Commentary says, is there Christmas in St. Lucia this year? NewsSpin says here, we also need to upgrade our schools and educational systems. Another commentary says, a nation cannot thrive under weak leadership or poor governance. The people deserve competence, integrity, and direction. When leaders fail to rise to the moment, the public has every right to demand better and insist on a higher standard. NewsSpinner says via Facebook, situations like this show how urgently we need professionalism. Oh, I read that one already. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Amanda. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you are on the air.
Hi, Tim. How are you?
Hi, I'm okay, caller. Good afternoon to you.
Yes, good afternoon to Amanda also.
Good afternoon, caller.
Yes. I am very disappointed, Tim, that after so many decades that this island has been involved in tourism, they still do not understand the tourism industry from a deep dive perspective. The challenge facing our tourism industry is one of seasonality. How do you smoothen out arrivals over a period of time, over a year, to ensure that at least hotels experience a minimum level of occupancy in order to meet its needs and that of the workers? Seasonality is one of the main reasons why that can happen. The other aspect is about innovation. What is it that will be introduced into the tourism industry to ensure that hotel operation is more efficient, more effective, and in addition to increasing profits and losses or increasing profits in the hotel industry? I read an article yesterday where the current government is focused on events to smoothen out low occupancy. There are major disadvantages to events in the sense that, one, you have spikes, high occupancy levels, and the following week you have tanks, low occupancy levels, leaving the tourism sector with excess inventory, excess staff, which they have to get rid of. We cannot continue to allow, our industry and our country to be manipulated by the owners of the tourism plant. Another factor that has to be taken into consideration is hotel ownership. Who owns the hotels? Who owns the large hotels? The hotel owners are the ones who control the rates, the room rates. They decide how much they are going to pay the hotels on the island, knowing that they own the hotel. So they may sell a hotel room in the market for $200 a night, but they may pay their hotels $150 a night. So they're making $50 or keeping $50 away from our local economy. The third aspect is about investment and spending and building hotels. Hotels and tourism is an extractive industry. What you are having is that the loans and the mortgages for these hotels are being taken overseas. So the principal is being shipped out. The interest on that principal is also being shipped out of our economy. And as a result, what are we left with? Very little. It's not only about 20 cents remains, but there are so many other dynamic areas in tourism management and tourism development that are not being looked at. My name is Wilson Jean-Baptiste, and I have the authority to speak on tourism. Thank you, Tim.
Tell me why you have that authority, sir, Mr. Jean-Baptiste.
I was a hotel accountant in 1986. I was accepted into Cornell in 1995. Sir John gave me a scholarship. Another one canceled it. And I hold a Bachelor of Science in Hotel and Tourism Administration from NYU, a Master's in Tourism Development from NYU, and also a Master's in Business Administration from Fordham. I have delivered papers in Africa on tourism development, and I have also taught at NYU. I've taught at Monroe, and I have on my table right now, Tim, a hotel project, a tourism project that could solve some of those problems. But I am not getting the kind of support. I am not asking for anyone to give me anything free. I am asking that I be treated like a foreign investor coming in and give me the incentives. But they're not taking me on, team. They're not. I can raise now, team, $90 million for a project, but I'm not getting the assistance and, the kind of assessment that is supposed to be given to a project like that. That project would be addressing seasonality. That project would be addressing food safety. That project would be addressing also food production, health and wellness, inequality. Most of the problems, climate change, most of the problems that the World Bank and other international financial institutions are addressing, human resource development, technology. But no, I'm a black St. Lucian, so they won't give me that chance. But I'm telling you, our professionals on the island do not fully understand that industry. And I am calling from on the other side. I am where the market is. And I understand. I went to school among the top-notch students. So I understand what foreign investors are looking for. And they're having a field day in tourism in our country. Any more questions, Tim?
Why do you think that we commonly have the tendency to focus on providing such incentives to foreigners as opposed to St. Lucians?
Well, there's an invisible ceiling that has been placed. Nelson Mandela referred it to as breaking the basic fundamental rules which predetermined our social stature. It is believed, and it is still there, that it is only certain people who should get involved in certain businesses at a certain scale. If I wanted to open a little, tea boutique 14-room, they would have given me all the support I needed. But the thinking is that who is this guy who wants to go into a $90 million project? But the international financial institutions are ready to support a project based on certain conditions, So it's a psychological thing, It's the small hotels which are not feasible in the short term because high occupancy, low occupancy, it's away your cash flow, So we as St. Lucians, as nationals, must move now into the macro development of our tourism industry. We must get involved in major hotel development and not just the small hotel sector.
Okay,
it's a psychological bias. Yep.
You'll be hearing from me in the coming days and maybe weeks and months. So thank you so much for calling. Very enlightening contribution.
We need to talk. Thanks, man.
Definitely. Thank you so much. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Shop directly from the U.S. with Smack Freight International. We're talking about SMAK, Smack Freight International. Vehicles, heavy equipment, tools, parts, building materials, commercial equipment, office equipment, furniture, personal goods, home goods, shoes, clothing, restaurant equipment and supplies, uniforms, and so much more. Smack Freight International also offers a broad selection of top quality products with real-time availability and fast delivery. It is simple. Whatever you buy, buy it for less at Smack Freight. Smack Freight is now serving the Caribbean. WhatsApp them today at 1737-409-4048. WhatsApp them at 1737-409-4048 or visit their website at smackfreight.com. SMAKFREIGHT.com. More of your calls, your WhatsApp messages, and we have some updates from Amanda regarding your comments in the chat rooms.
How to vote at general elections in St. Lucia. To vote is your constitutional right. Over the next few minutes, the Electoral Department will share with you how to vote on Election Day. All polling stations will be sanitized prior to polling day and after. On Election Day, polling stations must be open at 6:30 a.m. and close at 6 p.m. Once your name is on the voters list, all efforts will be made to ensure that you cast your vote. You can vote with your national identification card. If you do not have a national ID card, you can vote with any photo ID such as a driver's license, passport, or any other photo ID, which will allow you to be identified to the satisfaction of the presiding officer. Safety tips and all other election signage will be posted inside and outside the polling stations. No electronic devices, that is, cell phones, cameras, tablets, smart devices, example smart watches, will be allowed in the polling station. How to vote on election day. The electors approach the polling station. As the elector approaches the polling station, an assistant poll clerk outside verifies the elector's name and directs him or her to the correct polling station. The poll clerk invites the elector into the polling station and asks the elector to present his or her national identification card or photo IDs, such as a driver's license or passport. The elector is asked to deposit all electronic devices in a basket next to the presiding officer. The poll clerk announces loudly the elector's name and registration number as it appears on the voters' list. The presiding officer, poll clerk, and agents verify the elector's name on the voters' list and draw a line across the verified information. The assistant poll clerk verifies the information using the electronic device. Before the presiding officer issues the elector a ballot paper, the officer examines the hands and fingers of the elector to ascertain whether the elector has not voted previously. If there is no indelible ink on the right index finger up to the cuticle, the elector is processed. The presiding officer administers the indelible ink on the right index finger or the next available finger if there is no index finger. The presiding officer explains the voting process to the elector and instructs the elector on the correct way to mark and fold the ballot. The presiding officer issues a ballot paper to the elector and informs him or her that only the pencil provided for voting to mark his or her ballot must be used. When the elector has marked and folded his or her ballot as was instructed, the elector returns to the presiding officer and shows the presiding officer his or her initials on the folded ballot paper. Once the presiding officer is satisfied that this is the same ballot that was issued, the voter will place the ballot in the ballot box in the presence of the presiding officer. The poll clerk will mark voted in the poll book, and the assistant poll clerk will flag the elector as voted on the electronic device. The elector is asked to collect all his or her belongings and exit the polling station.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
The Prime Minister keeps saying he has given the police everything they need. Vehicles, jet skis, motorbikes, new headquarters. But here is the reality on the ground. St. Lucia has recorded the highest murder numbers in our history over the past 4 years under Philip J. Pierre. In 2022, 72 murders. In 2023, 75 murders. 2024, 77 murders. And in 2025 is already on track to be the worst yet. So while Philip J. Pierre boasts about equipment, he cannot keep the country safe. Despite having 3 ministers of national security, people still live in fear. Gunmen shoot openly in the streets. communities are living under siege. And what does the Prime Minister, our Minister of National Security, say? I am not a policeman, my father was. He refuses responsibility. He refuses accountability. He refuses to accept his primary duty is to protect the population, and he has failed. No leader brag about jet skis whilst families are burying their sons. On December 1st, St. Lucians must decide whether to continue under this deadly path or to choose a government ready to secure our borders, strengthen our police force, restore and expand our canine unit, crack down on illegal guns, and take our country back. On December 1st, vote the United Workers' Party for the safety and security of our
This was a paid political advertisement.
What if the next drop is the last? St. Lucia is facing longer, more intense dry spells, and our water sources are drying up. And when the rains come, they come harder and faster, damaging our homes and disrupting our water supply. But we can change the outcome. By conserving water and protecting our sources, every small action adds up. WASCO, working in collaboration with the Water Resource Management Agency, is committed to securing our water future. But we need your help. Together, we can protect our water, our health, and our future. One small step can make a big impact. Let's secure our water and secure our future. For more information, visit wascostlucia.com.
Yeah, man. Great job, guys. I love it.
Yeah, man. You see how the place starting to look nice?
Not just nice. This STEP program creates a safer and healthier community for all of us who live it. CIP is doing so many good things in the communities and providing jobs for us. It's a win-win for everyone. I am the I in CIP.
I am the I in CIP. It's about our citizenship by investment program.
KFC, yo, we back with the vibe. Strips and dip combo, flavor that rise. Free crispy strips, fries on the side. 16-ounce drink, sauce for the ride. Order for 25, deal so nice. Go down and crunchy, can't think twice. Barbecue, honey, mustard ranch if you wish. Dip it, dunk it, finger licking bliss. KFC, running flavor. Set the mood, strips and dip is back. Finger licking good.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Are you ready? Get set. Let's go green with New Select. No more paper, no more mess. Easy billing, no stress. Use my account to pay online. Pay your bill at any time. Get the stress off your mind. No more standing in line.
Visit LuCelect.com today and sign up to my account to pay your bill. Request a temporary or new connection or switch an account to your tenant's name. Do it all online.
Personal, paperless. Use the virtual service desk. Are you ready? Get set. Let's go green with LuCelect.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
St. Lucia cannot afford another term under this failed PJP-led SLT administration. Time and time again, promises have been made and broken. From the promised $1,500 COVID support for every St. Lucian, to removing income tax for those earning less than $4,000, to misleading the nation about the true purpose of the health and security levy. There has been a clear lack of character, with hateful attacks on citizens by ministers of government ignored by the PM, and a lack of vision shown through wasteful spending on outdated projects while fully financed opportunities like the airport were abandoned. The country is more divided, the cost of living is higher, crime is out of control, transparency is gone, and over $1.6 billion in our CIT funds remain unaccounted for. Critical national assets like our ports have been handed away, housing projects stopped, and our democracy weakened. St. Lucia deserves better. On December 1st, we choose unity, good governance, and real progress. We are voting for Alan Chasney and the United Workers' Party, the proven team to move our nation forward. Unwally Lucians, let's right the wrongs and save our country.
Take your finger and show them no mercy. Put them out with total scorn.
This was a paid political advertisement. Chronic back pain, arthritis, spinal injuries, nerve disorders, even painful cramps. These conditions affect daily life, but you don't have to live with pain. Every day matters when it comes to your health. At La Clinique du Corps, we provide fast, accurate diagnosis with advanced GE-certified MRI technology and internationally recognized specialists. Our focus is safe, effective treatment that restores mobility, relieves pain, and gives you back your quality of life. Call 451-6559 today. 451-6559. La Clinique du Corps, because time is vital in health.
At First National Bank, we believe being first means putting you first. Your first home? We've got the mortgage. Starting your first business? Count on our commercial loans. Dreaming of your first car? Drive it home today. Heading to college? Let's fund that first big step with a student loan. No matter the milestone, make First National Bank your first choice for all your loan needs. First in service, first in trust, first for you. Call us at 455-7000 or visit your nearest First National Bank branch today so we can help put you first. First National Bank, here for you.
Since it's nice, we're doing it twice. Clock out and clock into courts. November 28th, it's Black Friday Reloaded.
At Caribbean Pastures Limited, we offer high-quality products from Martinique, and our ready mix is made with casting sand, not regular pumice. Compared to regular pumice, casting sand saves you in your cement use. At Caribbean Pastures Limited, our materials come from porcelain stones, which is used as an additive in creating cement. Caribbean Pastures Limited is located in Bexar, behind Essential Hardware. Give us a call at 489-0074. We're open Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sundays 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Caribbean Pastures Limited. Quality construction, our priority.
Flow can make the season even merrier. Switch to a Flow prepaid combo plan and we'll give you a 30-day plan absolutely free. That's a whole month on us. 36 gigabytes of data, unlimited calls and texts, plus all the social media and WhatsApp you need to share every festive moment. Plus, spin the wheel for even more prizes. Switch to Flow prepaid today and get your next combo on the house. Sign up in-store today or visit online at discoverflow.co. We keep your Christmas rhythm flowing.
Every day, St. Lucian women give everything to their families, communities, and dreams. Yet breast cancer still claims too many lives. Now, St. Lucia is making history. For the first time, state-of-the-art 3D mammography is available right here at home. Donated by the World Bank through the Health Sector Support Program, these advanced machines are a major step forward in universal health coverage, and they're free. Women 40 and older or younger, if at risk, can access this life-saving service. Visit your local wellness center for a referral. Early detection saves lives. Free mammograms, universal coverage. Your wellness center is your first step.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
Ancillary Canneries, it's your time. Today, Thursday, November 27th at 7 p.m., the St. Lucia Labour Party comes to the Ancillary Waterfront for a powerful public meeting. Join political leader and Prime Minister, Honorable Philip J. Pierre, District Representative Wayne Gerard, Ernest Hilaire, Lisa Jawahir, and Team Labour as they highlight the successes of the government and share the vision for the next term in office. Together, we are moving forward with Labour.
This was a paid political advertisement. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. We have a call via WhatsApp. Hello, good afternoon. You are on the air. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, team.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon to you.
And Amanda, how are you doing?
I'm okay.
Good afternoon to you, caller.
Team, we have not heard Rick for a few days. I hope he's doing okay.
I hope so too.
Okay. He has taken an election sabbatical, it looks as though. Team, many St. Lucian voters, I believe, have already made up their minds. And all they are waiting for is for Monday to go and cast their ballot. But I think there are a few undecided voters that I want to appeal to and give them some reasons why this government should not be re-elected. Number one, for months, we were faced with the deplorable state of our roads in St. Lucia. We cried and begged and begged and begged. Our cries were ignored. We were given all sorts of excuses why the roads could not be repaired. Raining too much, blah, blah, blah. Okay, our vehicles, we had to be changing parts ever so often, spending so much money on car parts to make sure that our vehicles remain in good condition. So that's number one, the deplorable state of the roads for months. Number two, the poor state of healthcare in St. Lucia. We were promised universal healthcare, but instead, what did we get? People not getting medication at the health centers, hospitals, people complaining about there being no beds at the hospital and so on. Okay, we know all the complaints that were made when we were promised universal healthcare. And as I understand it, universal healthcare is healthcare for all. Okay, all the services that people need, all the health services will be available, all the supplies will be available. But the Medical and Dental Association told us that's the worst it has ever been. Another reason, we were offered, or rather we were promised, a tax-free salary of $4,000 or less. Up to now, we are waiting. Team, I had already calculated that for 3 years, I would have saved $9,000. And I said 3 years because I retired last year. I would have saved $9,000. Instead of saving that amount was extorted from me because of the high prices of cooking gas and fuel, high prices of goods and services, the 2.5% levy. That's another reason. The tax refund of $5,000 or less. Up to now, a number of people are still waiting. The one scholarship per household. I'm sure there are thousands of households all over St. Lucia that are still waiting for that scholarship. I want Shauna Edward to tell us how many scholarships were offered to the households in St. Lucia. The introduction of that deceitful 2.5% health and security levy, and I said deceitful because we were told that it was for health and security, but afterwards we heard that it was to secure a loan with the CDB. The almost doubling of the price of bread, poor people meal. A lot of people buy bread for their children for breakfast and dinner. Tim, do you know that a parent who would buy 10 loaves a day, who would have paid about $2.50 for the 10 loaves, they now have to pay $4.50 for 10 loaves. That's a $2 increase. For the month, that would have been $60. For the year, Tim, I'm not good at maths. For the year, it would be how much?
I wasn't taking notes. Yeah. What you said?
You're not taking note, Tim, so you're not listening to me, Tim?
No, I'm listening, but I'm a little distracted. I have a number of things doing, caller. I'm a number of things. My apologies to you. I'm sorry.
I said a parent would have paid for 10 loaves at 25 cents per loaf. That would have come to $2.50. They now have to spend $4.50 on these 10 loaves.
Yeah.
So just think of a single parent has to find $2 extra. And what I was saying, a lot of people give their children bread in the morning, bread in the evening. Okay, and I use 10 loaves. I know sometimes it can be a lot more than that, Tim.
Right.
So that was an extra $2 a day, which works out to be about $60 a month. So I was asking you for the year, how much that parent would have spent. It would work out to be about $720 extra.
Yes. Yeah.
That single mother has to get to buy bread. So that's another reason, the almost doubling of the price of bread. The increase in the price of fuel and cooking gas, that's another reason. The high prices of goods and services. And people were crying. You hear the complaints. They go to the supermarket. They have to be picking and choosing, taking out things from their basket, put it, and their cries were ignored until a few months before election. PJP maybe had a dream, and he came and told us he'll take out VAT on 70 items out of the thousands of items we buy. Only 70 items, he decided to remove the VAT on. I'm continuing, Tim. Another reason, the increase in bus fares, the poor maintenance of our schools, the insults and the maligning and attacking both verbally and physically of people in St. Lucia by government ministers, Tim, and the Prime Minister and his colleagues just sat by, looked and said nothing, or they tell you they did not see, they did not hear. These are some of the reasons. I'm sure some people can give me some more. Let me see. Do I have some more? Because I listed them, Tim, so that I'll not forget. I have another one there. Anyway, I'm sure there are a lot more. So somebody can call and give other reasons. So let me give you some other good reasons why we should elect the United Workers' Party. They have already promised to reduce the price of fuel, the price of cooking gas, remove that deceitful 2.5% health and security levy. The introduction of national health insurance. That's one of the things I love the most, Tim. The introduction of national health insurance. That's one of the best initiatives. I'm going to repeat it, ever to be introduced by a government in St. Lucia. And Mr. Chasney, please take note. Okay? We are going to, the same thing we're doing now, Mr. Chasney, we are going to do it in the next 3-4 years. Okay? If you win the election and we do not see these things come through. Good. The other SOS plans that he has outlined, the SOS plans and the SOF, I think the SOF, the Save Our Future, that's the plans he has for the youth. Okay? And so many other nice policies and plans that he has already outlined, Tim. So these are some of the reasons I think all St. Lucians on election day should go out and vote for the United Workers' Party, especially for the national health insurance. I don't know why anybody will not want to vote for that. Finally, Tim, I want to appeal to the teachers and other public servants. Do not let that $500 veil you. I really thought it was given this month, but I was told it's next month it would be given. Okay, that $500, as I said the last time, that will finish. One wrong in the supermarket, that will finish. And Mr. Chasney has already promised to give it, okay, if he's elected. I want to speak to teachers in particular, teachers of St. Lucia. I want to ask, why do you all support SLP? SLP does not like teachers, okay? Kenny Anthony in particular did some wicked things to teachers. One, teachers who were going to teachers' college, they were getting their full salary. Kenny Anthony, when he came, I can't remember if it's first term or second term, removed that. Teachers now had to struggle to take a little loan, to pay for their tuition at Sir Arthur. Teachers used to get their gratuity and pension when they retired at 60 years. Kenny Anthony removed that. He put teachers on the NIS. Anybody who joined the teaching service after 2003, okay, they cannot get a gratuity. So they have to work until they are age 65 years, and all they get is a pension from NIS, or NIC rather, okay? So teachers, a government that has done so much wickedness to y'all, why do y'all want to support these people? Why do y'all want to support? So I'm calling on you teachers, y'all have to think of that. And when you go to the ballot box on Monday, just remember all the atrocities of the SLP to teachers. Thank you very much, team.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much for calling. I think we have a voice note that somebody sent us. Let's hear that voice note right now on this, the most monitored talk show in the world. Please stand by. Also, we'll be hearing from Amanda with an update regarding your comments in the chat room. And that person is the former president of the Police Welfare Association, Mr. Cameron Law.
Good afternoon, team. Cameron Law. Team, a number of police officers in the last few days have called me with concerns and questions about the cabinet conclusion in circulation in regards to police officers who are authorized drivers and the licenses and them being exempted from paying the driver's license, and also police officers being exempted from paying 3 years or being allowed to pay their firearms licenses once every 6 years. My information from the persons that I've consulted, Tim, that the cabinet conclusion by itself may not be sufficient to cause that to happen. It may be necessary to have some legislative changes, and that has to be done through Parliament. And of course, we know that Parliament has been dissolved. So the cabinet conclusion in circulation is not enough for that to happen. On another note, Tim, we have seen for the various political parties, we have seen the manifestos, and as it relates to police officers, this is very concerning. Very, very concerning, Tim. The United Workers' Party's manifesto clearly shows that they are interested and they are concerned about the livelihood of police officers, how police officers live their day-to-day lives, how much money they have, whether it is for mortgage, for car, to take care of their families. And it reflects in some of the proposals in this manifesto. Police officers who go study in a related field will be compensated, or there will be an allowance for them. Police officers being paid their overtime allowance, and I cannot stress enough on this team how much contention there was during negotiations as it relates to overtime allowance. Police officers really need this, they want it. Tim, we're looking at police officers who have gone through training school and after the probation period of 2 years will be automatically granted a firearms license as long as they are in good standing in terms of their discipline and character. Tim, police officers being given the option of retiring at 20 years service, or they could go on to 65 or 55 if they so choose to. And after they have retired, Tim, whilst they will be receiving a pension from the NIC, the United Workers' Party have promised or have pledged through their manifesto an ex gratia payment to those police officers. This is something that was taken away from the police officers in 2003 when everybody was placed under the NIC and the gratuity was taken away from them. An ex gratia is basically a lump sum after you have retired. This is something that police officers have been asking for the longest while. Tim, and I'm very, very happy, I'm elated to hear that. Tim, when you look at the manifesto of the Labour Party, the manifesto of the Labour Party in itself, as it relates to the bread and butter issues of police officers I would have just spoken of, we talk about the ex gratia, we talk about the overtime payment, we talk about the automatic firearms licenses, we talk about, all what the United Workers' Party has listed, the ex gratia, pension at 20 years service, 55 or 65, whichever one you choose to pension at. Tim, these are the bread and butter issues that we speak of. When the Labour Party manifesto speaks to a police headquarters being built, Tim, we know the United Workers' Party has always had plans to build the police headquarters. So it goes both ways. Team, when they speak, the manifesto speaks to an ancillary police station being built. There is an ancillary police station, albeit they have had to remove them and relocate them because the current location for the police station at ancillary is not the best. So there are plans, yes, I will admit and I will say, there are plans for a new police station by the Labour Party. It is actually being conceptualized right now. Tim, when you look at the Labour Party and you speak to the police band, Tim, the police band has been without a home for over 4 or 5 years, Tim. The police band operates from the Human Resource Center in Kareli, and they cannot adequately perform their duties or practice there because you have wedding receptions, you have funeral receptions, you have birthday parties, and so many different activities in the very same building that they have to vacate the building when these things are happening, Tim. They cannot practice. The police band actually sourced and located a home somewhere in Shock, right? Right in the corner going into Bichcomo. I think it's the old Alma building. Tim, they saw this, they brought it forward, right? They gave a costing as to how much it is going to cost to renovate that and retrofit that building for them. They were denied a home. The police band basically is living, they're operating out of nowhere. You know, most of the times they have to give up the Human Resource Center. So to now put this in a manifesto when it's something that I know the police band have been asking for. They have gone out and they have sourced locations and they have not been given the opportunity to have a home for themselves. Tim, the police band, the home of the police band has always and was at the police headquarters. They vacated it because of structural defects in the building. So any police headquarters that is going to be built, I'm assuming that a police band, location for a police band will be in the design of that police headquarters. So to speak of the police band and a home for it as if it is something, you know, that has never been thought of. It is in any one of these parties who build a police headquarters, the police band will have a home in it. Tim, the IT department has been operating from underneath a step at the old police headquarters building for the last 4 years. They have been operating underneath a step outside. So I'm surprised to hear that they have beefed up the IT department and the IT department does not have a home. You understand? Tim, when you look at those manifestos, and I'm saying to police officers, again, it is clear which political party has the best interest of police officers. The bread and butter issues of police officers as it relates to your take-home pay clearly sits with the United Workers' Party. Every government has a responsibility to provide a safe working environment and to provide all the necessary tools for the police officers to operate. So this is the responsibility of government. But when you speak of a police officer and the real concern is his bread and butter issue, his take-home pay, that rests with the United Workers' Party as it relates to the manifesto. And I'm saying to him that police officers need to give serious consideration when they go to the polls tomorrow as to how their vote will affect the quality of life. Tim, that rests with the United Workers' Party. Tim, I have gone through the fire. I have gone through the rain. I expect it to continue. I expect the attacks to come. I expect things to be said. So I am prepared for this. You know, but the police officers, Tim, if at all the United Workers' Party assumes the reins of office, and I will be the first to speak out for police officers because, Tim, I have called the same man pace going, money going. But when I look at the manifestos, the police force that I just left, the only party that has the best interest of police officers is the United Workers' Party when it comes to the bread and butter issues that we have been clamoring for the last 10, 12, 15 years, more so in the last negotiations.
That's Cameron Law, Laje Guancord, unfettered, former president of the Police Welfare Association. Guess who is calling the broadcast right now, Mr. Producer? Guess who is calling? Not Cameron Law, but Rick Wayne. Rick Wayne is calling. It's 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. We'll be taking Rick's call in just a bit, but first, let us hear from Mr. Richard Frederick. We heard that address to the nation, or that statement, sorry. The statement was delivered earlier this week by former interim Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Mr. Mikey Pilgrim, making allusion to Mr. Richard Frederick. So we have a response now from Mr. Richard Frederick, and he convened a public meeting in his constituency last evening.
Let me just touch on something. An attack under which I came called corrupt. But you know, I will not list all the corrupt activities I know of an accuser. I will simply say they are too numerous to mention. Too numerous to mention. Because when a man can tell you, as chairman of a board, buy land from somebody in which he has an interest, what is that? But we're not going there. Leave that. Leave that. I'll tell you all something. They say birds of a feather. Birds of a feather. So let's go. A man is endorsing another man. They call him an ex-prime minister to glorify him. But I'll tell you this, Yasmin. You are 41 years ago. You are 41 years old. That man was involved in elective politics. The last time he won a seat, you were not born yet. It was in 1979, 46 years ago. Moi vle di sa patwa. Moi vle di sa patwa. Ini 46 l'année. Nom sa la, jeme gen en élection. Et c'est celle élection. I jeme gen. I will go to that angel. Don't preempt me. So, he ran in 1979. That was the only one he won. He ran in 1982. He lost. He ran the first one in 1987. He lost. He ran the second one in 1987. He lost. He ran in 1992. He lost. He ran the last one in 1997. So how can a loser who has been rejected by the electorate 5 times advise the electorate who to vote for? But it tells you a loser will always advise you to vote for another loser. So you have one who ran 6 times and won once. And that was 46 years ago. A lot of you all didn't born yet. That was the last time he won his only election. Then you have another who has run 2, lost both, and is about to lose his 3rd. So between the 2 of them, they would have run 9 elections and only won 46 years ago. And you want to take on a man who has come into the constituency, knocked on the doors of the people of Castries Central on 4 occasions. And every time I knock, they open it. And I'm about to knock again, and they'll open it again. How can a loser advise you? How can a loser advise you? How can someone who has been rejected by the electorate 5 out of 6 times, you won only once, and that was when people were not too bright, 46 years ago. la patin internet, la patin rien. So vote. So you won then. This is a different era. This is an era of the prevalence of intelligence. This is an era where those people who could not read and write when you won, their children and grandchildren, now educate them and let them know everything that is going on. So when you have, a loser supporting a loser. Folks, I'll say this. The people of Castries Central, my political career is in your hands. No loser who has been rejected 5 times can determine my political destiny. That is in your hands.
You just heard there from Government Minister Richard Frederick. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. In just a moment, we'll be hearing from Rick Wayne. Stay with us. Shop directly from the U.S. with Smack Freight International. That's SMAK. Vehicles, heavy equipment, tools, parts, building materials, commercial equipment, office equipment, furniture, personal goods, home goods, shoes, clothing, restaurant equipment and supplies, uniforms, and so much more. Smack Freight International also offers a broad selection of top quality products with real-time availability and fast delivery. It is simple. Whatever you buy it for less at Smack Freight. Smack Freight is now serving the Caribbean. WhatsApp them today at 1737-409-4048. That WhatsApp number again, 1737-409-4048, or visit their website at smackfreight.com. SMAKFREIGHT.com. Still to come, Rick Wayne on this, the most monitored talk show in the world. The following is a paid political advertisement.
Ancillary Canneries, it's your time. Today, Thursday, November 27th at 7 p.m., the St. Lucia Labour Party comes to the Ancillary Waterfront for a powerful public meeting. Join political leader and Prime Minister Honorable Philip J. Pierre, District Representative Wayne Gerard, Ernest Hilaire, Lisa Jawahir, and Team Labour as they highlight the successes of the government and share the vision for the next term in office. Together, we are moving forward with Labour.
This was a paid political advertisement.
Lucilec averti ou pour point précaution durant saison cyclone ça là. Mi an ti commission qui kaywen de ou protéger la vie ou ek propriétaire ou. Priez Lucilec avant ou trim et ben couper pied bois qui pouet ligne électrique. Veillez pour ligne courant électrique avant ou monter l'échelle. Fait assurer l'échelle, scaffold et bout d'outil ou ka servi pas vini moins qui 10 pieds hors ligne courant électrique. Pas jamais servi appliance et ben outils qui ka servi courant électrique. Des wall côté qui mouillé et ben en la pli. Ça c'était en commission hors Lucilec.
Tired of sky-high bills and a planet on the brink? It's time to go green without burning your pockets. At First National Bank, we are here to make saving the planet affordable. Whether you're installing solar panels, purchasing a water tank, upgrading to an inverter AC, or buying a hybrid vehicle, we've got the green to help you go green. Fast approval, low interest rates, and Mother Nature approved. Your future self will thank you. Visit firstnationalbankonline.com or call 455-7000 for more information to help you turn your green dreams into clean realities. First National Bank, here for you.
Ho, ho, ho. I had a dream that I, Santa, will be giving away amazing gifts this Christmas at Europa Hardware in Massad Grosile. I saw a Kasha pressure washer, a vacuum cleaner, steel brush cutters, Metabo power tools, even a welding machine, tile cutter, and Leo water pump. Just spend $500 or more between now and December 19, 2025. And your name and number goes into the box to be drawn. Christmas couldn't be better. only Europa is making things so merry. Ho, ho, ho. It's not a dream, it's a fact. Shop at Europa Hardware. Call us at 452-0763. Europa, we service what we sell.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
I'm Philip J. Pierre, Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Economic Development and the Youth Economy, and Minister for Justice and National Security. I am proud to say we have delivered to our young people. Previously, talented young solutions struggled with few opportunities and limited support. Today, through the youth economy, grants and mentorship, over 1,000 young entrepreneurs have launched and upscaled businesses, creating jobs and driving innovation. Real investment in our youth, real opportunities created, less progress you can see.
This was a paid political advertisement.
KFC, we back with the vibe. Strips and dip combo, flavor that rise. Free crispy strips, fries on the side. 16-ounce drink, sauce for the ride. Order for 25, deal so nice. Good and crunchy, can't think twice. Barbecue, honey, mustard ranch if you wish. Dip it, dunk it, finger licking bliss. KFC, brand flavor. Set the mood, strips and dip is back. Finger licking good.
Chronic back pain, arthritis, spinal injuries, nerve disorders, even painful cramps. These conditions affect daily life, but you don't have to live with pain. Every day matters when it comes to your health. At La Clinique du Corps, we provide fast, accurate diagnosis with advanced GE-certified MRI technology and internationally recognized specialists. Our focus is safe, effective treatment that restores mobility, relieves pain, and gives you back your quality of life. Call 451-6559 today. 451-6559. La Clinique du Corps, because time is vital in health.
Need branded apparel that looks sharp and shows up on time? Welcome to Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts. We specialize in custom embroidery and t-shirt printing for businesses, teams, events, you name it. From embroidered logos on polished Oxford shirts, available in a variety of colors for men and women, to bold, high-quality printed tees that turn heads, we do it all. Bring your own shirts or choose from ours. Small runs, big orders, rush jobs, no problem. At Imprinted Designs, we're built for speed, efficiency, and clean professional results delivered on time, every time. So if you want your brand to stand out, not wait around, come down to Imprinted Designs at the Valmore Plaza or hit us up at 451-2920 or email address imprinteddesignsSLU@gmail.com. Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts.
This Christmas, Flow's making the season merrier when you add postpaid to internet. Unwrap a new smartphone for only $29. Plus, we're giving you 50% off your mobile bill. And win even more goodies with our Spin the Wheel Christmas promotion. This Christmas, the rewards are on us. Add postpaid to your internet plan today in-store or visit discoverflow.co for more info. Terms and conditions apply. Flow, we keep your Christmas rhythm flowing.
Since it's nice, we're doing it twice. Clock out and clock into courts. November 28th, it's Black Friday reloaded.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
So, you're still living at your mother home? Owning a home isn't supposed to be a dream you may reach at 45. The UWP organized a mortgage guarantee program, making it easier for young people like us to finally get our own keys. Our own home, real financing, real chances to build our future. Not when we're old, but now. On December 1st, vote for opportunity. Vote the United Workers Party.
St. Lucia cannot afford another term under this failed PJP-led SLT administration. Time and time again, promises have been made and broken. From the promised $1,500 COVID support for every St. Lucian, to removing income tax for those earning less than $4,000, to misleading the nation about the true purpose of the health and security levy. There has been a clear lack of character, with hateful attacks on citizens by ministers of government ignored by the PM, and a lack of vision shown through wasteful spending on outdated projects, while fully financed opportunities like the airport were abandoned. The country is more divided, the cost of living is higher, crime is out of control, transparency is gone, and over $1.6 billion in our CIT funds remain unaccounted for. Critical national assets like our ports have been handed away, housing projects stopped, and our democracy weakened. St. Lucia deserves better. On December 1st, we choose unity, good governance, and real progress. We are voting for Alan Chasney and the United Workers' Party, the proven team to move our nation forward. Unwally Lucians, let's right the wrongs and save our country.
Take your finger and show them no mercy. Put them out with total scorn.
This was a paid political advertisement.
But I wanted to hear Mikey Pilgrim explain to us why Richard Fedrick should not be elected. But what he said is that Richard Fedrick was a rotten apple. And if you put a rotten apple amongst other apples, what happens? All of them get rotten. All of them get rotten. Now, we must make sense of nonsense. We must take sense from nonsense. Philip Pierre, 3 weeks ago, stood on the platform and asked all of his labor supporters to support Richard Fedrick. That's 3 weeks ago. He also said that Richard Fedrick has been a good cabinet minister and that he was proud of Richard Fedrick. So I'm asking a question. It means if Labour Party wins the election, Richard Fedrick will be back in the cabinet once more. So Mikey Pilgrim's solution to the problem was that the people from Castries Central should support Stanley and make sure Richard doesn't win. I have a better solution for the people of St. Lucia. Understand that a vote for Labour in any constituency is a vote for Richard Fedrick. And let us do the job for the country that the Prime Minister has refused to do. And let us make sure that not only Richard, who is a rotten apple, but all of them who've become rotten apples, let us put them out. Because if there is no Labour government, there will be no Richard Fedrick. A vote for Labour is a vote for Richard Fedrick. I want to say, particularly to the people in Vieux-Fort South, that Kenny Anthony was protecting you all for a long time from Richard Fedrick. Okay? Now that Kenny Anthony has gone, who is going to protect you all from Richard Fedrick? So there's only one person and one party that can protect you. Electing Lady Lee as a flabo and me as a political leader, and when we are in government, I give you one promise. Richard Fedrick will never be in government again.
Speaking last evening on the platform of the United Workers' Party candidate for Vieux-Fort South, you just heard there from Mr. Alan Chasney. On the line, we have Rick Wynn. As we say, good afternoon to you. You are on the air.
Hi, Tim.
Hi, good afternoon, Rick.
Initially, I had determined I was not going to have anything to say. Well, I would say nothing on NewsSpin. Almost on the moment the election, the date was declared. I mean, I may have spoken on NewsSpin maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yes, about that.
Huh?
Yeah, I think last week you spoke, last week.
Yeah. But, today is the last day before elections.
Tomorrow is the last day.
For NewsSpin.
Tomorrow is the last day.
And I would not have been able to look at myself had I chosen to say nothing after all. Tim, Mikey Pilgrim came on at the last election as an endorser of the Labour Party team. Am I right?
Yes, and in particular, Stevenson King.
In particular, Stevenson King. Was Richard Frederick then a member of the... had he been declared an associate, an affiliate, or anything like that, but when Mikey came on?
Yes.
He had?
Yeah.
And so Mikey endorsed everybody. And Mikey even went to work with Richard Frederick. You know, Tim, it is so depressing, so absolutely depressing, that somebody like myself, I sit there and I think of Cat Stevens, a singer, and he had a song, and among the wise words in there was, "I am old, but I'm happy." Remember that song? I am old, but I'm happy. Remember that?
I don't.
You don't?
No, I don't.
Ethan. And then you have Carter, the president, who was old, but generally admired for being a good man, who was a president of the United States. And so when I hear people talking about opponents in terms of their age and suggesting that because you have 22-year-olds and 30-year-olds, that guy, by virtue of his age, has nothing to say to you, I wonder who is most stupid, and I wonder who is the con man. Because you have to be something of a con man to automatically associate a man's age with his wisdom. And that goes too for the 19-year-olds and the 25-year-olds and the 60-something-year-olds. By the way, you remember there was a time... oh, Lord. There was a time, people, not so long ago, the life expectancy was 40, 45, you know, Tim.
Yes.
You know, at that time, 60 was a very old man, you know. All that changed there, Tim, is attitudes. 60 was never an old, decrepit, useless human being. If he was fit and if he was healthy and he kept his mind. But we want people to believe nowadays, at the moment you hit 50 and 60 and 70, never mind octogenarian, you automatically become useless. You can't think and all that. That's the biggest con. And they only say that to people most in need of education, who happen to be the poorest of the poor, the people who can't eat regularly, the people who can't afford a doctor, the people who can't send their children to school, the people who can't even speak their minds. That goes for half of St. Lucia already, Tim. Those are the people we have in our country, forming the greater part of our country. And then we have the manipulators who tell those people, knowing very well that these people can't help themselves, that they're important and they can read and write, and what they have to say means more than anybody else. Well, I am here for the moment to prove. Let them challenge it. I am an octogenarian. I'm happy that my lifestyle allowed me to be an octogenarian. I'm even happier that intellectually, creatively, I can take on anyone, especially the loudest politicians who have nothing new in their heads to offer, or we would not be in this continuing misery that we call life in St. Lucia. Have you heard anything amazingly different from what we have heard before, except perhaps improvements on a model? You've heard nothing new. And yet the world has changed so radically, we cannot tell what the next year will bring. Is that correct or not?
Correct.
We have an industry that we live for, that we live on. Tourism, and we have a cash cow called CIP. There is no accountability for the money from either of those people. And whatever those in charge tell us, we have no choice, like slaves, no choice but to say amen, no way of checking it out, no way. Am I correct? Stop me if I'm correct, if I'm not right, Jim, because that's my last thing before the elections. Mikey Pilgrim has his own sins, a lot of them. It's not everything Mikey Pilgrim said that was true. A number of things he says were vanished. I was there covering Mikey in his heyday. Mikey was umbilically tied to George Odlum, especially after George Odlum and Josie broke up. But those three guys at that time shook up the country for better or for worse than any other politician we can name. Am I correct on that?
Yes, you are.
They shook up the country for better or for worse than any politician you can name. They had more charisma. They had more drive. They demonstrated more energy. They mixed with the poor. All kinds of stuff. I say for better or for worse. Our politicians today have no personality, no raise. They talk of nothing new. They bullshit the people, one better than the other. You may have, what you are forced to do is look at the individuals themselves. Would I like my son to be like this man? Would I like my daughter to be like this woman? Is this woman a good exemplar for my daughter? Is this man a good example? Should I take a chance that just because so-and-so belongs to my club, it doesn't matter that reputationally he's a crook, he's a murderer, he's a hitman, he's a thief, he's a rapist of children, all of those things. Forget about those things. Let's just deal with whether he can knock your door any time of night. And I put it to you that, Tim, it isn't everybody who knocks your door at night that you'll open to.
You're correct.
There's some you might open to, and some you will wonder what the hell you're knocking my door for. And it is the purpose of why they're knocking your door who they are. You remember a guy from Jamaica? What was the famous Jamaican criminal's name? And by the way, I'm speaking generally, whether anybody wants to buy it or not. What was the Jamaican guy's name? The Americans grabbed him.
I'll try to get it now. Coke. Just now, I can't make his name.
The Americans grabbed him finally from Jamaica.
I'll get it now.
Judas Cook. Judas Cook.
Yeah. Judas.
Judas Cook was like a Robin Hood to communities in Jamaica, wasn't it?
Yes, he was.
He was most wanted man. He was a horrible, supposed killer, drug baron, and everything. El Chapo, Chappo, the Mexican drug lord, right? That Mexican drug lord who killed, who robbed, who raped, who killed police officers, who killed government ministers to have his way, is currently back in prison in the United States, I think Alcatraz.
Yeah.
That guy didn't just control communities, he controlled the courts, he controlled the police, he controlled everything. We have to consider those things when people give you $10 out of the $1 million they stole. Mother Teresa, Tim, is my last day, so bear with me. Mother Teresa worship, she's even made a saint. But the reality is Mother Teresa in real life was nothing like what the books tell you. Mother Teresa took money from some of the worst ogres we know of, Bokassa, what's the other one? Idi Amin, and a couple others. Took money from those people ostensibly to build hospitals in Calcutta. It didn't matter to her that taking the money from those guys made those guys look like charitable people, when in fact they were murderers, killers, and robbers of their own people. They robbed the treasury. You know those names I'm calling. They're legendarily notorious. They were not good people. They were horrible people. But they used Mother Teresa to appear a little less ogre, a little less wicked. We have to be careful of politicians when we know their reputations, we know who they are. They have shown us who they are, and we refuse to pay attention to that in the hope of getting some cheap-ass contract to build a road when you know you cannot build roads anyway, but because you're going to support so-and-so, they give you a contract, and you'll pick up 3 or 4 other guys and build a road that lasts for 6 weeks. When I want to tell St. Lucians, I am not in the business of promoting any singular politician because I don't trust any of them to keep their word. The last time I spoke on that was when Alan Chastney won the election. I came on and I said, those of you who voted Mayor Lucas Party into office, the job is only quarter done. The rest of the job is to keep your prime minister, keep the fire at your prime minister's feet, because you will get the prime minister you allow yourself to get. If you want a good prime minister, you have to make him that. Alan Chastney is no more saint than I or you. But Alan Chastney, if he wins the election, will be the prime minister controlling your destiny. You will have put him there, and you need to see that he operates according to the law. You have to ask yourself, the current government, are you satisfied in every way that the prime minister and his group obeyed the law, stuck to the Constitution, was fair to everybody? Ask yourself those questions about both people. Those questions are more important by far than a promise of a contract or a promise of a hotel with a hotel which doesn't belong to us. We keep hearing politicians saying, I built, so you built no goddamn hotel. You agreed with some entrepreneur who has shareholders, made a deal with him to build a hotel in St. Lucia, at which you hope to have a few people hired, usually in the most measly positions, not even the biggest ones. The gentleman who spoke to you about tourism and so on, he deserves to be on your show 2 or 3 times. So, Tim, there is nothing, wondrous about what's going on there. What we have to do is forget all the crap we have from the politicians and face ourselves in the mirror. Do I want this person representing me with his actions? And I should say this. The politicians all tell us that one another is a crook, Tim. Is that right or not?
You're correct, Rick. You know that.
The politicians have all told us that they are all crooks. And worse, the politicians have confessed that every member of parliament is a crook. Yet we don't take their words for it. The minute you get to parliament, you become St. Paul. You're no longer Saul. Well, I might not be around to see it, although I plan to be. But St. Lucians, you have a choice now to make a radical change in St. Lucia. You may have to bite the bullet. Understand that every issue is a bread and butter issue. Every single issue is a bread and butter issue. It's not just what you put in your mouth. It's having the facility to go to a hospital, and not just go to a hospital, but to go to a hospital and get properly treated so that you don't come out worse than you went in. Stop being fooled by politicians and judge politicians by their actions, what you know about them, and don't take risks with your life and your children's lives by saying, that politician will give me $1. Thank you very much, Tim.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. That is Rick Wayne. Finally, our NewsSpin news of the day. That's our final benchmark. It reads, Colombian president says oil is at the heart of U.S. pressure campaign on Venezuela. Colombian president says oil is at the heart of U.S. pressure campaign on Venezuela. The NewsSpin news of the day, and as a broadcast, thank you so much for watching and listening to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. Don't forget to like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the channel grow. I'll be back, God willing, tomorrow afternoon, the final NewsSpin before the Monday, December 1st general election. Goodbye.